All right, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Get Woke, Go Broke. Link in the description, archived, of course, talking about the new Snow White Disney movie. It has been a disaster for Disney on multiple levels. Apparently, they're even conducting investigations into how they can sort of lock things down, and at one point had to literally muzzle Ziegler because she was saying weird shit on Twitter and elsewhere on social media. I find that very funny. Doesn't seem like a very likable person. Sort of a little bit like certain other actors and actresses when they work on a project that's deliberately wokeified and they're happy to take the role because they're woke. Sometimes they come out like Maxine Waters just did as well. That's going to be our new tech exclusive for the day. Did you hear what she said about Melania Trump the other day? When movies go so woke that even the critics panic, that's when you know it's truly a bad movie. It got terrible reviews, suffered a humiliating opening weekend, and now even the critics generally, they may have liked it a little bit more as an aggregate than the audience, but not terribly much more. And I find that amusing. And it's also heartening. It means that the era of woke is indeed, for some purposes, waning. So maybe we can get back to making Rambo and stuff like that. Can we have some masculine energy in movies once in a while? The damsel can sometimes be saved by the prince, and not every redhead in Disney needs to be cancel cultured and turned into, you know, a black person, or even, for that matter, a white person without red hair. Keep it true to the original characters as much as you can. Um, this story is funny to me. The opening weekend was about a third of the actual total that they expected, and no more. Because people, a lot of times, opening weekend, someone goes and sees a movie, they really like it, they tell all their friends, "Oh man, you got to go see this movie, it's great," and stuff like that. So it spreads on social media, word of mouth and stuff, how great praise for the movie, or for an album or anything like that, or a new TV show. So when that doesn't happen, and the critics assail it almost immediately as well, that's not a good sign. Yeah, but listening to the part about them scrambling to muzzle Rachel Zegler, I actually have to read a little bit of that to you because that's probably the funniest part. Disney reportedly intervened with film star Rachel Zegler over her social media posts. And so Disney's Snow White fiasco reportedly led to ramped up security and social media monitoring. Basically, like, okay, I've got you on speed dial. You need to take my call if I call you because you just posted something stupid. Like they'll have a dedicated agent solely for that purpose for each movie or something like that. Uh, apparently, uh, oh yeah, Variety reported Snow White producer Mac Platt personally got involved with the backlash surrounding Ziegler after she shared an anti-Israel post while promoting the film in August. And always remember, free Palestine, she wrote. That's more innocuous, but this is the movie industry. What do we know about most of the executives in the movie industry? Yeah, interesting connection. You can ramble about Donald Trump all you want, but as soon as you make a fairly stereotypical mild criticism of another country that doesn't even name that country, and you get shit for it, okay, that's a little bit on the telling side. But it's still a woke-ass movie, and so it's still good that this is happening. Reportedly, the studio grew concerned about this post after death threats against Ziegler's Israeli co-star Gal Gadot sparked at the time, leading the company to pay for extra security. I mean, people who are famous get death threats all the time. I know that I have, and I'm not famous. So I can only imagine what happens with some of these people. They like stalkers and weird shit like that. Happens all the friggin' time. But watching the movie feel is good because it generated a huge amount of hype and interest, but a lot of it was negative hype and interest. And in the end, it turned out that the movie just simply wasn't good. I don't even think that Ziegler's comments played a big role in turning people off to the movie. I think it's more the movie presumptively is bad. The critics realized they couldn't really save it, and some of them share certain traits as well. And so they refused to defend it mostly. And the audience hated it, and so it didn't spread. Nobody wanted to talk about it except in a negative light. And so, yeah, there's that for Disney. You did a great job. Sort of like with the Little Mermaid remake. I think that got a better reception than Snow White did, if I remember correctly. I don't think that was about mean posts. I think that was more about erasing redheads, which is something that they should do. Although, didn't they keep the hair red? Well, it's red hair dye, obviously. Yeah, Disney is an interesting company. They've, throughout history, made some of the greatest cinematic masterpieces of the cartoon world. My favorite, Hercules, for example, that's my favorite. Snow White, the original, of course, and Cinderella and things like that. All sorts of good movies up until more recently. Um, Now they're ruining the Star Wars franchise, so yeah, it's really rather sad. Just like Amazon has denigrated the Lord of the Rings franchise, but they are partnering with Peter Jackson to make the new films. Actually, the Hunt for Gold or Finding Gold, I can't remember which one it's called. And they got the idea from an independent film group actually, that with a very small budget, I think it was a few $100,000. That's small for a film that does well. And using virtually all practical effects, they managed to make a really competent Finding Gollum actually at the time. It wasn't Wingnut. It was some group of random actors and actresses and stuff. They made a small film. It was like sort of one of those Sundance films or something like that, but even lower budget. And it was actually really good. I don't think you can find it anymore though on YouTube. I think due to copyright, they probably bought the people that organized the movie out and got the rights to the basic premise or something like that. They also did good actor and actress casting in that movie, although I think it was all actors, if I remember correctly. I don't remember if there was a single female in that particular fan-made film. Not sure. So yeah, Snow White becomes one of the ultimate debut movie disasters in Disney's history. Ha ha ha, and I love to see it. That's about all. Peace out.